Hello! I hope you are all safe and sound, and welcome to our third listening and speaking lesson. Chào các em, chị mong rằng mọi người vẫn khỏe và hôm nay chúng ta sẽ đến với buổi học thứ 3. So, in the previous class, trong buổi học trước, we went through vocabs to describe weather. Sunny, trời nắng. Stormy, trời bão. Cloudy, trời nhiều mây. And humid, thời tiết nóng ẩm. We also learned about seasons in a year, such as spring, mùa xuân, summer, mùa hè, autumn or fall, mùa thu, and winter, mùa đông. And in some special regions, seasons are only divided into two kinds. Do you remember what are they? They are rainy season, mùa mưa, and dry season, mùa khô. And last but not least, we have gone through a conversation about weather. So when you ask, you can say that, what's the weather like today? Thời tiết hôm nay như thế nào vậy? Or how's it out there? Trời bên ngoài như thế nào? And when you answer, you can say something like, it's rainy, it's sunny, or the weather is nice, the weather is sunny. So that's it for the previous one. Moving on to this new section, I have to announce that from now on, we will be using Family and Friends textbook for grade 5 students. Thì bắt đầu từ hôm nay, chúng ta sẽ sử dụng bộ sách Family and Friends để học nha. Make sure you have your student book in front of you while we enjoy this lesson together. Today's lesson is Unit 3. The food here is great, and you can find it on page 20. And let's get started. So, what do we have for today? Firstly, we will get to know some new vocab which you can find on page 20. Secondly, we'll be heading to a really useful type of grammar called adverb of frequency. I'll explain it in detail later on. Thirdly, we will perform a role play together, and you can find the scripts also on page 20. Coming up next is a short listening practice as usual. And finally, a revision for all the things above. So yeah, let's first move on to vocabulary. In this section, I want you to take your notebooks out and note the words as well as their definitions down. Trong phần thứ nhất, chị muốn các em làm một việc, đó là trong lúc chúng ta học từ vựng mới thì các bạn sẽ viết từ mới đó, kèm nghĩa của chúng vào trong vở. Các em cũng có thể vẽ hình minh họa cho từng từ để dễ nhớ hơn nha. So here are our first two new words. Look at the picture on your left. Can you guess who this guy is? Các em có đoán được người đàn ông ở hình bên trái là ai không? Đó là người phục vụ. So what do we call him in English? He is a server. And next, please look on your right. We can see a character eating food at an outdoor restaurant. We can say he is a customer of that restaurant. Anh ta là khách của nhà hàng đó. So in Vietnamese, customer is khách hàng. Guys, I want you to repeat after me. Các em đọc theo chị nè. Server, server. Customer, customer. Coming up next is two more words. The first picture shows a really familiar object that we often see in restaurants. Do you know what is that? Correct, it's a menu. In Vietnamese, menu is thực đơn. And then look at the other picture. We can see that the chef is wearing special clothing. So what do we call it? He is wearing chef uniform. Đầu bếp đang mặc đồng phục. Apart from restaurant kitchen, we also wear our student uniforms to school, and our parents wear their office uniforms to work. Then I want you guys to repeat after me. Các em hãy đọc theo chị nha. Menu. Menu. Uniform. Uniform. And now we have words related to drinks. The first picture shows us a very familiar kind of drink that you need to have it every day. Our word is bottle of water. Chai nước. Remember to drink a lot of water every day, since it's healthy for your body. Nước rất là quan trọng đối với cơ thể, nên chúng ta phải uống thật nhiều nước mỗi ngày nha. And when you have used up a bottle, you can reuse it or recycle it into something helpful. This very small action can actually protect our environment from pollution. Khi mà chúng ta đã dùng hết nước trong chai rồi thì các em đừng bỏ chai nước nhựa đi nhé. Chúng ta có thể sử dụng lại hoặc là tái chế nó thành những vật dụng hữu ích. Những hành động đó tuy rất nhỏ nhưng lại rất có ý nghĩa đối với môi trường đó nha. And then let's look on your right. Can you guess what this delicious drink is? Yes, it's a cup of coffee. Một tách cà phê. Coffee is a really common drink in Vietnam and everyone loves it. But since we are children, make sure not to drink coffee or just have a little sip of it per day. Vì các em vẫn còn rất nhỏ nên chúng ta cần hạn chế uống cà phê để bảo vệ sức khỏe của mình nhé. Please repeat after me. Chúng ta hãy cùng đọc nào. Bottle of water. Bottle of water. Cup of coffee. Cup of coffee. And these are our last two words for today's lesson. First of all, I can tell that you all know what the picture on the left is, don't you? It's a glass of milk. Một ly sữa. Every day, you have to drink at least 2 glasses of milk in order to grow taller and stronger. Ở độ tuổi phát triển thì chúng ta cần phải uống ít nhất 2 ly sữa mỗi ngày để trở nên cao lớn và khỏe mạnh nha. Last but not least, the final picture shows us something really delicious. Can you guess what it is? It's a bowl of soup. Một bát súp. This kind of food suits the best in cold days, doesn't it? Now, I want you to repeat after me. Các em hãy đọc theo chị nha. Glass of milk. Glass of milk. Bowl of soup. Bowl of soup. Now, we are heading to session 2, adverb of frequency. This part is really useful when it comes to speaking or writing, so I want you to pay full attention to it. And let's get started. Adverb of frequency describes how often an action happens. Trong tiếng Việt thì adverb of frequency là trạng từ chỉ tần suất. Nó sẽ diễn tả mức độ thường xuyên của một hành động mà các em thực hiện. There are many words that we can use to describe frequency, but today I'm just gonna show you the 5 most common words. Coming up first is always. You use it to describe an action that you do every day. Always nghĩa là luôn luôn. Nó sẽ được dùng để chỉ một hành động mà các em làm mỗi ngày. Following it is usually. Thường xuyên. It is used to describe something you do most of the time. Usually dùng để tả một hành động mà các em thường xuyên làm. The third one is sometimes. We use sometimes to talk about an action that we do some days and some days we don't. Sometimes có nghĩa là thỉnh thoảng, dùng để chỉ một hành động mà các em không làm thường xuyên. Our fourth word is rarely. It is used to talk about things that you don't do most of the time. Rarely sẽ được dùng để chỉ những việc mà các em hiếm khi làm. And finally, never is used to describe something you don't do and will not do by any chance. Never chỉ những việc mà các em không bao giờ làm. So now I want you to repeat after me. Always, usually, sometimes, rarely, never. So this is our first structure for adverb of frequency. Chloe usually plays basketball every Monday. We can see that the subject will be in the first place of the sentence. Following it is an adverb of frequency and then a verb. This structure is used to tell how often somebody does something. Thì trong câu trên chúng ta có chủ ngữ được xếp ở vị trí đầu tiên. Tiếp đến là một trạng từ chỉ tần suất và sau đó là một động từ. Cấu trúc câu này sẽ được dùng để diễn tả mức độ thường xuyên mà một người làm một việc nào đó. So we also have some examples for this. Fred never goes to bed early. Fred không bao giờ ngủ sớm cả. They usually do homework together. Họ thường làm bài tập về nhà cùng nhau. And this is our second structure for adverb of frequency. The sky is always clear in summer morning. Bầu trời luôn luôn trong xanh vào buổi sáng mùa hè. Firstly, we have the sky as our subject. And different from the previous structure, we have verb be stands in the second place. Next, we have our adverb of frequency, always. And finally, an adjective, clear. The reason there is a verb be in this sentence is that there is an adjective to describe the sky. Remember, adjectives always come with verb be. Đầu tiên, trong câu thì chủ ngữ the sky luôn đứng ở vị trí thứ nhất. Tiếp đến là một động từ to be. Theo sau là trạng từ chỉ tần suất và cuối cùng là một tính từ. Câu hỏi đặt ra là tại sao ở đây chúng ta lại có động từ to be nhỉ? Bởi vì trong câu có một tính từ miêu tả bầu trời, mà tính từ thì sẽ luôn đi với động từ to be. Các em nhớ nha. So here are some examples for the structure. Roses are usually red. Hoa hồng thường có màu đỏ. The weather is rarely cold in Saigon. Thời tiết hiếm khi mát mẻ ở Sài Gòn. Yeah, that's all I want you to know about adverb of frequency. Let's do something fun together. We will take turns to perform a role play. You can find the script on page 20. Và tiếp theo đây chúng ta sẽ đến với phần đóng kịch nha. Lời thoại các em có thể đọc trong sách Family and Friends trang 20. So here we go. For this script, I'll read through it first to make sure you guys know how to spell the words correctly. Then after that, we'll take turn and read it together. Trong phần này chị sẽ đọc mẫu trước một lần, sau đó chúng ta sẽ thay phiên nhau đọc nha. So let's begin. We always come to this restaurant. The food here is great. Look, Max, all the servers are wearing green today. They usually wear blue uniforms. Can I have a bowl of soup and some salad, please? Sorry, we don't have any soup, but there are pizzas on the menu. Look. That's strange. You usually have soup. Usually? But you're our first customers. Really? But this is Ken's cafe, isn't it? No, this is the pizza place. It's new. So that's why it's different. Let's try it. That's what the script would sound like. So now we will read it together. We always come to this restaurant. The food here is great. Can I have a bowl of soup and some salad, please? That's strange. You usually have soup. Really? But this is Ken's cafe, isn't it? So that's why it's different. Let's try it. Yeah, so that's the end. You have done a great job. This listening practice is the last session for today's lesson. So let's get through it, guys. You can do this. Now, we will listen to an audio and your job is to fill in the missing words. Please write no more than 2 words in each gap. Thì đến bài nghe này chúng ta sẽ được nghe một đoạn audio và thử thách cuối cùng của các em là điền vào chỗ trống những từ còn thiếu. Lưu ý là chúng ta chỉ được ghi nhiều nhất 2 từ thôi nha. Cố lên!
You will hear some information about a filmmaking competition. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
If you want to make films, then you'll be interested in our new competition. If you're between 11 and 18, you can enter this year's filmmaking competition. The film should last no more than 12 minutes, and you should have at least 3 main characters. Last year's winner had 8 people in it, but we don't usually expect so many. This is the 3rd year of the competition. In previous years, we accepted any type of film, from horror to comedy, but this year we are looking for a drama. There'll be another competition later in the year for people interested in making documentaries.
You will hear some information about a filmmaking competition. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
If you want to make films, then you'll be interested in our new competition. If you're between 11 and 18, you can enter this year's filmmaking competition. The film should last no more than 12 minutes, and you should have at least 3 main characters. Last year's winner had 8 people in it, but we don't usually expect so many. This is the 3rd year of the competition. In previous years, we accepted any type of film, from horror to comedy, but this year we are looking for a drama. There'll be another competition later in the year for people interested in making documentaries. We have seen some great films over the years from very exciting young filmmakers. Last year's films were about the family, and we saw some wonderful entries. This year, however, we want films about the weather. It can either be about how it makes you feel.
Now let's listen again.
You will hear some information about a filmmaking competition. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
If you want to make films, then you'll be interested in our new competition. If you're between 11 and 18, you can enter this year's filmmaking competition. The film should last no more than 12 minutes, and you should have at least 3 main characters. Last year's winner had 8 people in it, but we don't usually expect so many. This is the 3rd year of the competition. In previous years, we accepted any type of film, from horror to comedy, but this year we are looking for a drama. There'll be another competition later in the year for people interested in making documentaries. We have seen some great films over the years from very exciting young filmmakers. Last year's films were about the family, and we saw some wonderful entries. This year, however, we want films about the weather. It can either be about how it makes you feel or how it can change a day, a challenging topic. The judges this year are Martha Fernando, presenter of our film programme Film World and author of a book about careers in filmmaking called Film Life, and the director Mark Matthews, whose latest film Night is now in cinemas. There are some fantastic prizes. Our first prize winner will visit London International Academy, one of the top film schools. We have other prizes to give away. There are 100 books and also some of the latest cameras to win. You can send your films to us by post or bring them to our offices in the Market Square. The judge's decision is final. You'll have the chance to see the best films when they are shown at the Town Hall. More information about the competition can be found on our website.
That is the end of part 3.
So that's the end of the audio. Let's find the answers together. For sentence number 1, the type of film is a drama. Next, the subject of this year is about weather. Chủ đề của năm nay là về thời tiết. Moving on to judges, giám khảo, we have Martha Fernando, presenter of the program called Film World. For the other prizes, lots of books and more cameras will be given away. And finally, the best film will be shown at the town hall. Yeah, so that's all for today's lesson, guys. And before we say goodbye, let's just look through several sessions really quick. For our new vocab, we studied server, người phục vụ, customer, khách hàng, menu, thực đơn, uniform, đồng phục, bottle of water, chai nước, cup of coffee, tách cà phê, glass of milk, ly sữa, and finally, bowl of soup, một bát súp. Secondly, talking about adverb of frequency, we went through always, luôn luôn, usually, thường xuyên, sometimes, thỉnh thoảng, rarely, hiếm khi, and never, không bao giờ. And that's the end of our lesson today. Thank you so much for your great attention. I hope you have all the words written down in your notebooks by now, and please do the homework we gave you online. Goodbye!